So what we'll first do, we'll firstly discuss how to choose a hair loss treatment. Obviously today there's a number of hair regrowth treatments on the market, both herbal and pharmaceutical. In our experience, a lot of people that come to us have already used the pharmaceutical treatments such as minoxidil and finasteride. And obviously our recommendation is to choose a treatment that is both safe and effective. So if you're considering a herbal option, obviously we'll present what we do here. I'll be presenting that shortly. And keep in mind that our treatments have been going in Australia now for 20 years. They've been going internationally for 40 years. We've got 13 international awards for the products. A very high success rate, at least 99%. And we've got over 30 million customers worldwide that have used the product over that period of time. So we've got a lot of experience, quite an established product in this market. So what options do we have with hair regrowth? We'll take a look at that now. So I'll discuss now a bit about herbal versus the chemical pharmaceutical treatments. So our treatment is Herbal Follicular Activation, or HFA for short. We'll just go through a quick comparison now. We'll go through a quick comparison now of our process compared to the pharmaceutical treatments. So as you can see there, that for the pharmaceutical treatment, the main mechanism is by using a drug such as finasteride. It actually binds to a particular enzyme to slow the production of DHT. I'll talk a bit more about DHT shortly. DHT is basically the chemical that sits around the hair follicle that causes hair loss. Well, as I said, I'll discuss that shortly. And with the other drug treatment, minoxidil is a chemical vasodilator, which means it increases the blood circulation in the scalp tissues. Just comparing it to what we do, our herbal treatments don't actually physically bind to this enzyme. They just control the activity of that. So it's a sort of a less aggressive process with less side effects, and it also does slow the production of DHT down, and it also reduces the sensitivity of the hair follicle to DHT, which is the difference between the pharmaceutical treatment. With our treatments, we actually work on deep cleansing treatments of the scalp, and providing optimum nutrition to the hair follicles, which is unlike the pharmaceutical approach, where there's no cleansing and there's no real emphasis on nutrition for the hair follicles. We'll look at effectiveness now. The pharmaceutical treatments, effectiveness is you start to see some results anywhere between 6 and 12 months. And with us, we very commonly see visible hair regrowth within the first couple of months. So it's quite a big difference there between the two. Side effects, I will start with our follicular activation treatment. Many of our clients experience slight burning sensation on the scalp after the application of the tonic, and that can last for anywhere from just a few minutes to up to 30 minutes. It's quite rare to have it lasting for many hours or the whole day. So it's not something that's a huge issue for people that are using the products. And keep in mind that although being a side effect, it's actually a necessary part of the treatment, because the idea of the alcohol that we use in the tonics, and also those warming herbal medicines, the idea of those is to bring more blood to the scalp tissues to nourish the hair follicles. So it is an adverse effect, but it's also we actually need it to have a successful treatment. Across the pharmaceutical treatments, if you look at some of those side effects, pretty nasty, many of them. Decreased sex drive, particularly with finasteride, and often can be even irreversible damage or irreversible sexual dysfunction can result from prolonged use of finasteride. facial swelling, chest pain, blurred vision, irregular heartbeat, itchy scalp, and even dermatitis or sort of allergies on the scalp with those pharmaceutical treatments. With our treatments, after 30 days of stopping, for example, if you're to use the program for a few months and you decide for some reason to actually stop the treatment, after 30 days you won't necessarily experience any noticeable hair loss. What I will say is that commonly with minoxidil, one of the topical treatments for hair loss, it's very common after 30 days that the hair loss will return quite quickly and suddenly. As I mentioned before briefly, what happens is that the DHT actually builds up around the base of the follicle there. And the way DHT forms is it's a sort of a byproduct of testosterone. So you've got testosterone, it's in male and female. It's sort of roaming around in our bloodstream. And what happens is that when it reaches the scalp, it actually combines with an enzyme called 5-AR and produces DHT. So there's your 5-AR there, sort of sits around the deep scalp tissues, combines with testosterone, and there's your DHT build-up there. The DHT build-up actually puts pressure on the blood supply, which nourishes the hair follicle, which then creates problems with the supply of essential nutrients and oxygen to the follicle. And what that does over time is that actually causes thinning or miniaturization of the hair follicle and eventually leads to hair loss. That's why our treatments are focused, in part focused on reducing the sensitivity of the follicles to DHT.